Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. We have several things to talk about, so let's get started. First of all, screaming Bigfoot shot by hunter in central Indiana forest. While hunting for squirrel in an old-growth woods in central Indiana, a man has a scary encounter with a large female Bigfoot. I recently received a telephone call from CC in reference to a Bigfoot encounter in 1985 in an old-growth forest area just south of the Meyer Nature Preserve near Martinsville, Indiana. CC and his brother HC had been squirrel hunting during an autumn afternoon. It was beginning to get late and CC needed to get home before he went to work that evening. His brother remained in the woods in order to continue hunting. Each of them had driven to the location in separate vehicles. As CC was walking back towards his truck, approximately a quarter mile from his brother, he heard several gunshots coming from the direction he had left. He had also heard faint screaming and yelling. Fearing that his brother was in danger, he rushed back to the location. When CC reached his brother, he found him sitting on the ground near a large boulder. CC said that HC was staring at the ground and had a shocked look on his face, as if he had seen a ghost. He appeared to be uninjured, but his state of mind was a concern. For several minutes, CC attempted to communicate with his brother, but to no avail. Eventually, HC began to snap out of his stupor as he raised his arm and pointed towards the large oak tree near them. He mumbled, "Big ape," a few times and started to tremble. CC opened his thermos and poured HC a cup of lukewarm coffee. As he drank, he became more lucid. During that time, CC walked over to the oak tree and noticed a few freshly broken limbs laying on the ground. The leaves all around the base of the tree had been noticeably disturbed. So, apparently, this young man, HC, thought that his life was in danger. So he apparently shot at this supposed Sasquatch. So we've heard stories of individuals, especially hunters, who've been in the forest and they say, I had a Sasquatch or I had something in my sights, in my gun sights, and I couldn't pull the trigger. It looked too human. But I guess it doesn't apply in this case. This individual was scared to death apparently. So he shot. One of these days, hopefully somebody's going to bring one down. And they'll have the right caliber of rifle to do so. Here's an article from Nick Redfern. Bigfoot, mysterious apes, and wild men when they use weapons. Apparently they have been known to use clubs. Now there have been reports which go back over 100 years of supposed Sasquatch using clubs. There was one report from, I believe it was Idaho, in which a creature was yelling and brandishing a large club. I believe that was from 1902. But apparently, these creatures, some of these creatures in the past were using clubs. 1933, Traverse Pine gorilla lashed them with a stick or club. Woodwose or woodwosing. Being of the forest, hairy wild humanoid of the woods, a thing not all unlike Bigfoot. Likelihood that the word woodwose from voodoo an old word meaning forest, and wasa, or in today's terminology, being. So a forest being. So this is quite. Oh, and of course, the woodwose is usually shown as a complete part human figure carrying a club with the limbs being leafy. So there are past reports of Sasquatch carrying clubs. You don't hear too many modern reports of that, though. That's something you don't hear very often, if at all. It's very rare. Now, here's an interesting tale of a possible Sasquatch encounter which results in memory loss, strange activity. Now, we usually hear about this in UFO encounters, not in Sasquatch encounters. This happened in April of 2011. Clear and cold night with a quarter moon out. Upon returning to my home about 11:15 Central Daylight Time, I walked up on my patio, which is about 5 feet off the ground. As soon as I reached the deck, I noticed a large human-like figure that was bigger than any man I ever saw. I used the surefire white light on my shotgun to see better. Due to light fog, I could only see about 25 feet with the light. The creature was out in the open enough to see an outline of the figure. I had seen all my animals act unusual prior, a feeling of being watched in hours of darkness on more than once. The figure was watching me and made eye contact. It was very large and close to 7 to 8 feet tall, was very stocky built, would guess well over 400 pounds. The figure seemed annoyed that I pointed my shotgun at it. It seemed to have no fear of me or my animals. My dog, military trained, cowered down and would not respond to commands. I did contact a Bigfoot team that showed up within 72 hours of this. No evidence was found, no footprints, hair, nothing. I did experience some lapse in memory thereafter. I am a retired Special Forces sniper with 10 years experience in 3 tours in Iraq, including the Iraq invasion with the 3rd Infantry Division on the front lines. I have no knowledge after all I've seen and done to describe this figure. I do need to be kept out of any public report because of my background and security clearance within the military. I just want answers and will provide full cooperation in person. The biggest thing that bothers me is the lack of fear from the figure and my fear back. I fear very little in life. Just want to get to the bottom of this. Again, like I say, we only hear about memory loss with UFO reports, usually not with Sasquatch reports. This is very unusual. I have to say that. Finally, you guys may remember a few months ago I had a report about the thylacine or Tasmanian tigers, the last known footage of the thylacine, or what was thought to be the last known footage. Well, this may be the last known footage of the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger. You have it. There's some interesting footage of what may be the Tasmanian, of what was the Tasmanian tiger, or last known footage, I should say.
Hong Kong, China's military says it's ready to safeguard what it calls national sovereignty in the city. Hong Kong's pro-Beijing security secretary
Sorry about this,
publicly
folks.
supported the draft law on Monday, one day after clashes erupted again between city police and pro-democracy demonstrators. A military commander is warning of a growing threat from terrorism and said calls for independence could undermine national security.
Actually, I do have one other bit of news to share. Lyle Blackburn's upcoming new book, Sinister Swamps, Monsters and Mysteries from the Mire, is now available for pre-order at monstrobizarro.com. It's also available on Amazon. They'll start shipping in early June, signed by the author. It looks like this promises to be a really great book, much like all of Lyle's other books. Of course, I immensely enjoyed every one of his other books, and I'm sure this one will be no exception. And that's going to do it for this week's HBM's Crypto Corner. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. And I have not checked on the latest statistics as far as how many people are watching and following my videos. Doesn't really matter. It could be 3, or it could be 300, or 3,000. I would still do this because I love to do this. I love providing you guys with this crypto news. It's enjoyable to me. I enjoy doing it. And I do it for free. I don't ever ask for donations or anything. I do this for free because I enjoy doing this for you guys. Anyway, until 2 weeks from now, unless there's breaking news, y'all be good or be good at it.